used to like, man, this is staring at me cry.
Cars, fireflies, dead quiet summer nights. The look in her eyes. It's a long drive from here. I'll sleep. You steer from here too long.
No matter how hard I try, I just can't make this thing not slightly crooked. It's fucking fine. I'm having a morning. I'm losing it. Okay, I have been looking for a job pretty much since I got to Washington like 5 months ago. And fucking, well, it's 6 now because it's September, and fucking nothing. I've gone to interviews. I've had some really good interviews, had some not as good interviews, but like the interview that I don't like that this person, but the interview that I just had was the worst. I'm gonna cry. I don't want to cry. I just feel I was playing Breaking Benjamin really loud. I don't want to cry. I feel like shit. This sucks, dude. I know that in the beginning it was like my availability because I was nannying, and now I'm not nannying right now. So like, what the fuck is up? It sucks, but this was the worst interview I think I've ever had in my entire life, because holy fucking shit, that man, not only was he so uncharismatic, he seemed miserable. He seemed like he hated his job. And I'm gonna be honest, dude. Fucking I would too. Ugh. He made the job sound miserable. And I don't know what's going on. I think I'm just so used to like every other job I've ever gotten has been like, oh, cool, like I interview and they're like, you're hired. But now I don't know if it's like the way that the job market is or what, but like since I've been looking here, it's literally been like, oh, okay, so I have a whole bunch of other interviews, maybe I'll call you next week. Just don't know how to feel. Like, how do I not feel defeated? How do I not feel like shit? Because this fucking sucks, dude. Man, this is staring at me cry. Stop looking at me. Anyway, like, the availability that I have with school as a college student is fucking phenomenal. People should be jumping on it. I only go to school 3 days a week. And only in the mornings. I just don't know what to do anymore because I can't not have a job for much longer. I think today's scrapped. I think I'm just gonna have to go home and write today off as like a not good day. And then I'll start again tomorrow and I'll have a good day tomorrow. This is like, it sounds really fucking dumb, but this is kind of why I started making YouTube videos, is like, I'm so I'm in a new state alone. I don't have friends here. Well, I have one friend here, but they live in Seattle and I don't. I live far from Seattle. But like that, I'm bored to hold myself accountable with like shit now. I was like, I'm in school, it will hold me accountable to like study and whatever if I'm doing it and I feel like I have to record it. But also like, I don't know, as like an outlet for not only my creativity like I just said, but also for my emotions, because once again, you know, I don't have a lot of people around here to talk to, and I just fucking anyway, it sucks. I'm gonna try not to cry and I'm gonna call my parents. I was really craving a warm drink because I was feeling kind of down on this day, and I didn't want a coffee because I didn't want something to like hype me up. But I did want something with a latte vibe, so I thought I'd give golden milk or a golden latte, whatever you want to call it, a shot. All I did was mix up turmeric, cinnamon, honey, ginger, and black pepper because apparently turmeric needs pepper to give you all of its benefits, which is something I just learned. I also added nutmeg because I just love nutmeg, okay? So it can't hurt, right? And I currently live on a farm, so the milk I'm using is from Molly, one of 4 cows here, but she's the only one mature enough to be in milk right now. And I used to be a vegan, and I loved it, and probably when I go back to living on my own, I'll be vegan again. But the only thing better than abstaining from dairy as a whole is knowing it comes from a very happy, healthy, well taken care of animal. But anyway, the golden latte was very tasty. I'm definitely adding it to my repertoire. And but if you tried out, you probably shouldn't ignore the straining part in the recipe like I did, because it was just a little bit grainy there at the end. But also a note, I am allergic to cinnamon, which is fun and interesting, but I'm trying to expose myself to cinnamon to kind of lessen my allergy, which is something that someone close to me told me about that they did with multiple of their allergies. So I'm giving it a shot because I miss cinnamon rolls so much. So Monday kind of sucked. There was just a lot of stuff going on, and I tend to get very frustrated when things in my life are not going a way that is comfortable for me. And that was just, Monday was one of those days. I tried to make it a better day, but it didn't work out, and that's totally okay. And I think that the added, fidgetiness of having 5 days of doing pretty much nothing because I wanted to take the weekend to relax, and it was a 5-day weekend for me, made me just added to my unhappiness on this day. But for many reasons, I was unhappy, and it was a bad day, and that's okay. Sometimes there are bad days, and you try to fix them, and you try to make them good days, but you can't because they're bad days, and they're meant to be bad days, and that's totally fine. And what I do in those situations is I tell myself, look, you've tried to fix this, you've tried to make yourself feel better, sometimes you can't, so let's just end the day early. So I went to bed super early, but my body is actually used to waking up after a certain amount of hours because I've gotten really good at training myself to sleep a certain amount of hours and to go to sleep at a certain time and wake up at a certain time. So my body was a little bit confused by the change in time that I went to bed. So I woke up promptly at 4 in the morning. So I sat there and I watched the sunrise, and I listened to media that was nourishing my soul and inspiring me, just listening to people who make me feel good and help me through those tough times. And that was the perfect way to start this day. So I started my Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. when I fully got out of bed after watching the sunrise, and it turned into a beautiful, beautiful day. Just when I think that my skin is getting clear, I get hit with a whole big old ball of stress again, and then it combines with the time in my cycle that I'm at, the level of hormones, and now it's just... Anyway, that's fine. Wow, the clouds look so cool. But, yesterday, was good, or like, yeah, yesterday was one of those days where it started off good, and then it sucked, and then I made myself feel better, and I was feeling real good. I was riding a high. I have 2 more interviews this week, and then it sucked again, and so I was like, this day is a write-off, and I went to bed early, which then made me wake up early. I got like 9 hours of sleep, but I woke up at 4, so I just kind of like watched the sunrise, 4 in the morning, and sometimes that's like really all you can do. You have a bad day, so you just write it off, you know, you can't make all bad days good, and that's totally okay. And yesterday was just one of those days where I couldn't make it good, and I was bored of being awake, which is a phrase that I use a lot, but I don't think a lot of other people use it. But like, I just didn't want, there was nothing that I really wanted to do. I kind of felt like I watched enough stuff for the day. I didn't really feel like crocheting. I didn't really want to read. I just wanted to go to bed. So I listened to myself, and I did that, and I went to bed, and I slept for 9 hours, which was good. And then I woke up feeling refreshed and awake at 4 in the morning, and then, so now I'm just going to make the most of the rest of my day. It's like probably almost 7 by now, and I'm gonna go to school early and use the gym and do some yoga, and then I wanted to go to school early anyway so that I could get some studying done at school, but also because I have to drive an hour there and back for school, so like it's better if I leave earlier or I stay later, just to kind of make the most of like the, not only my own time, but also the money that I am spending on gas to get there. Even though gas in Idaho is cheaper and I can fill up while I'm there. But, so that's how today is gonna go. I'm gonna go to the fitness center for the first time. I'm gonna do some yoga, and I'm also gonna get a coffee on my way there, of course, and then I'm gonna go to my forestry class, my bio intro to forestry class, after I study for a bit, and then I have an interview an hour and a half after that, and that's what my day looks like, and it's gonna be a good day, and I'm not gonna let anything that happened yesterday weigh on me at all. I realized as I was driving that I didn't talk about the card I pulled this morning, which I wanted to talk about, but it does feel a little bit weird talking about this with my window down, but it doesn't go up. So the card I pulled this morning was Peace Walker, and as I read the little blurb on it, because I pulled an oracle card, as I read the little blurb on it, it was like half about, oh my god, my shoe. It was half about, like protecting nature and doing everything that we can to do so. And the other half was about finding your peace and knowing that you're on the correct path to find your peace, which was literally just like the card I needed today, because I feel like, you know, the last couple of days I've been feeling kind of like, am I even going in the right direction? And that was just really, that card served as a sign to me that I am. Because I don't know if I've talked about this, but what I'm going to school for, what I just started going to school for, is wildlife conservation. That'll be my bachelor's. My associates, which I'm in school for right now, is forestry, wildlife, and range management. But once I finish that and then go to my bachelor's program, it'll be wildlife biology or wildlife conservation or conservation biology, some mixture of those words. And then I've also been feeling kind of like I'm at kind of like physically where I am in life isn't right. Like physically as a whole, I feel like I'm in the right area, but the specifics don't feel right, you know? If that makes any sense at all. And I think it's just my living situation. And it's not bad by any means. It's just I'm more comfortable living on my own. I have realized I am far more comfortable living on my own. And I just, in the living situation I'm in right now, I just kind of feel like I'm in the way a little bit, which nobody has expressed to me, so I don't know if that is the case, but it's just kind of how it feels every once in a while, and that's okay. It's an uncomfortable feeling, but you have to be uncomfortable sometimes. You can't live your whole life in comfort, unfortunately, no matter how much I wish I was born into wealth and I could have bought a house at 18 and moved cross country the first second, that the inkling came into my brain. As much as I wish that was my life, it's not. And that's a super rare life to have. But yeah, I don't know. I've been recently feeling like I'd be more comfortable in like a tiny house on my own in the middle of nowhere, or like a trailer on my own in the middle of nowhere, or even honestly sometimes I feel like I'd be more comfortable living/camping in my car, just because then I'd be alone. That card kind of really just showed me that like I'm on the right path. That piece is coming to me soon. And then as I was driving, I don't want to get too like woo-woo hippy-dippy fucking pagan whatever, but as I was driving, I drove and there was this big bird, and I was gonna drive under it, and I was like, oh, I wonder what kind of bird that was. And as I got closer, I saw it was a raven. And ravens are one of my spiritual signs, I guess you could say. I can't really remember the other word that my friend used for it. I think that they used a different word than spiritual sign, but they're one of my signs, and that just kind of re-cemented everything that card told me, and really made me feel like I am close. I'm gonna cry. Really made me feel like I'm close to the destination of living somewhere that I'm comfortable and finding my peace and getting my dog out here, because goddamn do I miss him, and that is like my biggest priority. And the thing that sucks about all of this is that I didn't want this to be my living situation for this long. Not that I'm not grateful, it's just that I know myself, I know that I don't thrive like this. And so I knew I didn't want to live like this for this long. Alright, now I'm gonna go get coffee, and I'm not gonna cry anymore today.
This past year I've had so much older.
To find another path to a new career.
Confidence to become more independent and self-motivated.
flexibility, freedom, and find a great job.
Of course, there are
I realized when I got in there, I did not need to bring my own yoga mat. They have them. So, for future reference, that's great. I just realized that all I've eaten today is a few spoonfuls of peanut butter, and I have these specifically for breakfasts for school. They're gluten-free and vegan. I'm no longer vegan and I've never been gluten-free, but they're actually really good. I got them because they were on sale. Also, I feel like when I feel like when I find a different place to live, I'm going to go back to being vegan because if I can't easily get, because the only way I want to eat animal products is if I know that they're coming from an animal that is very happy. So all of the animal products that I eat are coming from, because I'm still vegetarian, but all of those animal products, all of that dairy, eggs, they all come from animals that are like right outside my window. So unless I'm buying like eggs or milk, which would be kind of difficult, but like unless I'm buying eggs or milk from my cousins, I'm probably gonna go back to being vegan until I can find places to get stuff and or start my own homestead with my own chickens and all of that. I'm gonna go do some homework, do some studying. I have class in like an hour and 40 minutes, so I'm gonna go to that building because it's my favorite building to study in anyway. Just get some shit off my to-do list for today. I want to start by saying it is fucking gorgeous out right now. It's so nice. But while I was on my way to the class I was just in, I had a bit of like a realization. And this feels weird to talk about, but I think that a lot of like my emotions being all over the place as of late, as well as like, I don't know, I think that I've just kind of had this feeling of like unease for a while, and I've realized that my life has been kind of unstable for the last year, and like because of that has like dysregulated my nervous system and has caused me to feel mentally unstable, at least on some small in some small way. And it sucks, dude. I can't wait to get back to like a solid time where I feel comfortable and everything just feels right, because I haven't had that in a year or more. I can't really tell you. Actually, it's been over a year. It's been well over a year, and I'm sick of it. I'm really fucking sick of it. I want to go back to like my stability and feeling comfortable and feeling good. And this has nothing to do with anybody outside of me. This is all me and like the situations that I have put myself in, as well as situations that life has thrown at me. But you know, it's just that realization just took a weight off my shoulder and really makes me feel so much better, because I've been feeling like crazy recently, and now I just kind of understand. This day turned out to be such a beautiful day. Things worked out for me that I didn't think were going to work out. Everything seemed to come to alignment, and it seemed like the universe was giving me a break and finally telling me that I can settle in and everything is gonna be okay, and that it's got me and it's holding me. It just needed to show me a few things about myself before. But so when I got home, I just did some more homework. like a common thing, but I talk to myself a lot while I'm driving, and that's like one of the reasons that I started doing this, was because I was moving cross country, and I just like sit in the car and I fucking talk to myself. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I was driving to school this morning, and I was just talking to myself. And also I feel like talking to myself out loud, speaking, it's like such a good, not to sound crazy or like bring all my hippy dippy bullshit to you, but like I feel like talking to myself out loud is such a good manifestation tool, but also I do process things verbally, so like being able to talk myself through things is really helpful. But on top of that, so is like all of the manifestation work I put into speaking. So the thing that I was just talking about is this like idea that I've had over the past couple days that I'll just move here to Idaho, because I go to school in Idaho, but I live in Washington. And I just got that job. I totally don't think I said anything about it. I got the job that I interviewed for last night, and I'm so fucking excited. And I was talking yesterday on my private Snapchat story because I just needed to vent about how I feel like over the last year, you know, all that stuff with my nervous system, and I'm feeling unsettled, that I said here, but I was saying on my private Snapchat story that I feel like it's all coming to a end. Like either the bubble has been growing and is about to pop, or it's like exploding and then everything is about to come back together. And yesterday just left me with this like inner peace, inner feeling that like everything is coming together. The explosion has happened, the bubble has popped, and things are working out for me, or starting to, you know. So I've been thinking that maybe it's a good idea for me to just move to Idaho, because then I'd be closer to school. The job that I just got is 25 minutes from the campus. So that's totally doable. If I even live like slightly outside of the town that I go to school in, it'd be like, I don't know, like 45 minutes max. And I was looking, and I've seen places here in Idaho, like houses, which is what I'm specifically looking for, because the plan has always been move out to Washington, find a place, get my dog out here, right? So I'm looking for specifically like houses, somewhere that he can be happy, because he was unhappy in our apartment. I was unhappy in our apartment, but I don't think that he was happy in our apartment because he couldn't just go outside and run around, right? And he's not a very good apartment dog, unfortunately. I'm not a good apartment dog either, so like, that's fine. But so what I'm trying to say is that I have seen, because I've done a little bit of looking, I'm always looking at houses online, I'm always looking at places to live, even when I have zero funds to move. I was looking at places, and I found a few near this area in Idaho that would be affordable and are 1-bedroom houses, and I could afford rent on completely on my own. And coming from Colorado, that idea is insane. Feeling like if I just move here, I can find a place here, and then I can have my dream of living alone in a house with my dog, and it'll be wonderful. And so I've just been like talking about that to myself, like talking through the idea, as well as like talking about it in like a way that makes it, you know, manifest and whatever. But why did I tell you all that? Anyway, today just feels like another good day. Oh, I have like 40 minutes before my first class. So I'm just gonna go sit by the water for a little bit, and I've been feeling really pretty today, except for this thing. I tried to cover it up with like a little brown dot, but I think it just made it worse. course, I picked up some of those books because I am a simple girl, you know? I see free books and I have to go. Those little mini libraries are like some of my favorite things on the planet, and one day, at the next place I live, actually, I am definitely going to put one in. I kind of feel like this video has become a lot of me talking about things that I have been struggling with lately, which is kind of funny. I'm not trying to complain, I'm really just putting my mindset out there. But one thing that I've also been struggling with, because of all the other things that I've been struggling with, is spending time in nature, which is something that's super important to me, is just being out in nature. And yeah, I go on a hike every week, but I'm talking like just sitting in nature. I think that it's super important for me to take time to just be slow and sit out in nature, and I don't think that I've really done that in the last like 2 months. So I took Thursday to just kind of sit in nature, spend some time outside, just be outside in one of my favorite areas to birdwatch that is actually really close. You know, every once in a while I think about those people that I've met in my life whose parents pay for everything for them, and they're like the same age as me or sometimes even older, and it's just like, God, I wish I was you. Oh, I knew a girl whose parents paid for her apartment. I don't want to pay for things, the fuck? But my tank is full.
You steer from here too long, too long, too long.
So, typically, I wouldn't do this, but I am turning back today. I'm about an hour into this 3-hour out and back hike. And I have to pee really bad, and typically I'm just like, I'll pee off the side of the trail. I don't give a shit. But I've seen so many people on this trail that I'm not gonna do that, unfortunately. Okay, I made a couple mistakes this time, other than forgetting to put on sunscreen. I don't know if I'm like really sunburned. It's like a little bit, it should be fine. But I was like, oh, it's been like in the 70s for the last like, I don't know, week and a half. I don't have to get up super early to go on a hike today. It'll be fine. Like it's not like 80s or 90s hot at all. But like it was still pretty toasty, and I'm wearing leggings because I was like, it's been in the 70s. That's not that bad. I could survive in leggings. Could I have? Yes. Was it comfortable? No. On this day, I just made myself a bowl of homemade yogurt with some chia seeds, some berry preserves, and that's actually all I have for this week. I spent a lot of this week kind of feeling not great. There were a lot of emotions going on, so there was a bit of feeling drained, but then also physically just I was not my best on the later half of this week, which is totally okay, so I just took some time to rest.